Hello, this is Deborah Nakamura, and you're watching Heart of Japan. Today, my special guest has a very interesting job that I'd like to share with you. Hello, Chika. It's very nice to have you on Heart of Japan.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell me about yourself.
I'm Chika, and now I live in Aichi Prefecture, Toyokawa City to be specific. I was born in Osaka and raised in Nara. To high school, I didn't have opportunities to talk to foreigners or non-Japanese speaking people, so I didn't really see the need to speak English, but in college I had a chance to go to a university in America. There I had to talk to people in English, and that's where I learned how to speak English.
And I must say, you have almost no accent, no Japanese accent. So whatever you did in America, it really made you almost a native speaker.
I really tried hard because they couldn't understand me with my Japanese accent.
Mm-hmm.
There are just a few Japanese students there, and people there are not very used to listening to Japanese accents. So not like foreigners living in Japan, they didn't have much exposure to Japanese accents.
Is your job defined as an interpreter or a translator or both?
Some call interpreters translators as well, but
that's right.
What I do is more of interpreting rather than translation. If interpreting is more of oral translation, and then translation is written translation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long have you been an interpreter or translator?
As a freelancer, I have been working as an interpreter for about 10 years now.
Wow.
And before that, I worked as a temp worker, and I also was doing translation there as well.
What prepared you for this profession?
After coming back from the US, I just wanted to maintain my English speaking skills. So I went to an English conversation school, and there they told me that they didn't have a class that matched my level. So they
because you were too high? That's my guess.
So because I was just after I came back from the US, and I assume I was more fluent at that time than I am now. So so that's why they told me that I have to find some other school, and then I did some research, and because I was a college student and it was summer, I had a lot of time, and then I found that there was like intense summer program for interpreters. So it was summer break at the time, and they had a lot of time, and it was full day program, and I attended that. And I found out that translation and interpretation are different than just being able to speak two languages.
Yes, very different.
Yeah, so although I passed the test to attend this class, I was the worst student in the class. Because
I can't believe it.
Everyone else was not like a college student. They were already adults, and they already worked as interpreters, or so they had a lot of experience, and they worked for example accounting firms or banks, and they had their own already expertise, and I didn't know anything about.
You were just starting out.
Right. And also I learned that there is interpreting and translation is constant learning and studying, and I got to study a lot of different things during the 4 days, like politics, business.
So you must have a very big vocabulary. At one point I made so many notes, government words or scientific words, medical words, gardening words, whatever. It's a lot of vocabulary. What types of translation work do you do?
Because I live in Aichi Prefecture, And as you know, Aichi is home to car manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my clients are car-related car manufacturers, of course, and their suppliers. There are a lot of companies in this industry, and also manufacturing in general. I also work in chemical industry as well.
So you have to have a scientific knowledge.
Yeah, so every time I do a lot of research before my assignment. After graduating from college, I worked as a system engineer for a year. So I also work in IT industry as well.
Nice. Yes, having a background in systems engineering, you would have the language, I'm sure, in both language, in both English and Japanese, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
How do you advertise your services?
Mostly I register with agencies and I don't do much advertising myself. I think that's what I have to do going forward, especially because now that remote interpreting and translation are possible, I might have to start marketing myself.
Do you have a website?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
What is the most difficult part of your job?
Most difficult part is that I am always the only outsider. And although some clients give me information in advance, sometimes presentation materials, there's always something I don't know. And
That must be stressful.
Yes, and everyone else knows about that, and they take it for granted. They don't even notice that I don't understand what they're talking about. Although doing research is part of my job, sometimes they talk about internal things that is not public.
Yeah, yes, and you have to be very careful with the information you hear, right?
Yes.
So you have to, we say, land on your feet, no matter what the situation.
Yes, right.
So I think you're a very smart lady. I really have a lot of respect for you.
What is the most rewarding part of your job?
After my work, if my clients tell me that their meeting went successfully because of my job, then I feel really rewarded. The sense of being helpful or useful to others.
Yes. Yes, I think everybody wants to have a job that's useful and helpful. I know I do.
What advice would you give to someone who hopes to get into this industry?
I think speaking two languages is like just a foundation, and then, as I said, constant learning, constant studying.
Yes,
you have
I
to
agree.
be very curious about everything and anything, and any information can be helpful in the future assignments. So you have to always be aware of the newest things, what's new and what's everything around you. You have to be more aware.
Do you have any amusing stories you'd like to share with us?
One anecdote I want to share. So sometimes my clients, or not direct clients, but sometimes I have to translate for non-native
Yes,
as well.
yes.
And they also have strong accents. And sometimes their English is not understandable even for natives.
I've had people come to me with a recording saying, "What is that person saying?" And I'd listened to it 20 times because I could not understandable. And I'm a native English speaker, but that was a heavily accented, just as you said.
Yes. So one time I didn't understand even a single word. A non-native speaker, and I had to fake that I understood it. Luckily, I had a written presentation material. I was just looking at the page he was referring to, and then I read everything written there. After the presentation, there was one participant who came up to me and said he was really surprised to see I was able to translate Spanish So it was English,
But Spanish accent.
yeah, Spanish accent. So everyone thought I switched to Spanish translation from English translation. He said that he was really amazed that I was a trilingual instead of bilingual.
Okay.
So it was really funny.
Yeah. So, do you interpret in many places, for example, outside of Japan as well as inside of Japan?
I was given such offers, but because I have a family here, I have to turn down all the offers.
I've enjoyed having you, and I look forward to any comments on our channel about this profession. It's a very unique profession. It takes a lot of dedication to your work and preparation, so I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chika. I've enjoyed having you today, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on projects. Yes, I work with Chika from time to time on very interesting projects.